Hello, this is Bobby and Ginger again, and we're going to do another Pampered Chef recipe and a demonstration of some of the tools we use. Today is going to be the turkey and pesto ravioli with fresh tomato sauce. If you'd like a copy of this recipe, comment below and we can send it to you via email. Now, one thing about this recipe is it normally calls for wonton wrappers. It makes it very simple and quick to make the ravioli. But unfortunately, we were unable to acquire those, so we've made our own pasta. So it's going to add an extra step to the recipe as we go along. So the first step of this process is we have to make the filling for the ravioli. So what we're going to use our manual food processor to finely chop up some parsley and basil that I've already rough chopped, 2 cloves of garlic, and a shallot. We assemble everything back together and we're going to chop this up real fine. So in our classic batter bowl, we already have our ground turkey that we previously heated on the stove. You can also put the ground turkey in the bowl and heat it in the microwave if you choose to do that. And we've also added all our freshly chopped herbs. And now we're going to add our Parmesan cheese and mascarpone cheese to the mix. Then we're going to take our mixing chop and we're going to blend all this together to make our mixture. So now that we have our mixture for the center of our raviolis made, we're going to use our medium scoop and we're going to scoop out some of the filling and place it in the center of our pasta, or our wontons if you actually use the wontons. We have our filling laid out. In order to put our second half of our pasta on, we're going to take an egg wash and just kind of lightly rub it around our filling so that it would make a good seal. If you're using the wonton wrappers, you just need a little bit of water between the wrappers to help them to seal, because you want them to seal really well so that it does not leak water into your pasta. So we're going to get this kind of set down here a little bit, and then we're going to use a glass to seal it up and press it down. And then we're also going to cut them out round. So there's our first batch, ready to be cut out and be put in the water. This is the finished product. Now you can also use the Pampered Chef biscuit cutter and use the round edge to seal it, and then you of course use the cutting edge to cut them out so that you can have them perfectly round. Shortly we're going to move over and start chopping up some shallots and some garlic, get some garlic ready for the sauce. We moved over to the stove where we have water boiling for our pasta for our ravioli, because we're going to cook the ravioli just a few minutes just to get the pasta cooked, since we made fresh pasta. If you use the wonton wrappers, you can skip that step. But at the same time, we're also going to be heating our skillet up to make our sauce. And we're going to start by adding a little bit of olive oil to the pan. And then we have our shallots that we've already chopped up in our manual food processor. And then we're also going to use our garlic press to press out the midst of the garlic. And it's very simple. You place the garlic in there and squeeze the handle, and it comes out. And since we have more than 1 clove of garlic we're going to use, we're just going to keep adding to it until we get it all minced up. Now that we have our shallots and our garlic starting to get a little bit flavored, we're going to add a half a cup of Sauvignon Blanc white wine to let it cook down. It also glaze the pan. While this is in here, we're going to go ahead and start placing a few of our raviolis into the boiling water so that they can begin to cook a little bit. So to finish making our sauce, we're going to add some chicken stock, grape tomatoes, and a little bit of sugar for sweetness. And we're going to let that cook down so that the tomatoes will pop open. And that will make our tomato sauce. So we've already removed our ravioli from our boiling water because we didn't want to cook them all the way through with the boiling water. We used our scoop and drain from Pampered Chef to do that, and it works really well to get that stuff out. So now we're going to use our mix and chop, and we're going to break these tomatoes up a little bit because they're starting to cook down to where they're starting to split. And that way we can get the juices out of them and crush the tomatoes up a little bit to get our sauce completed. Once we've got these broke up, we'll add our ravioli into the sauce for it to finish cooking. So now we're going to add our ravioli back into the sauce to let it finish cooking. We're just going to place them in there all the way around. And once we've got them all into the sauce, we're going to scoop some of the sauce onto the ravioli itself. That way it absorbs some of the flavor from our sauce. And we'll let that cook a little bit, and then that will be ready for us to eat.